Friends, welcome to Simzuu. Our journey of knowledge, prospering all begins again. Today we are going to talk on who is a workman. Are all employees workmen who work in industries? No, there could be a managing director, there could be a foreman, and there could be an accountant, and all qualify to be employees, but certainly they are not all workmen. And today let me tell you friends, what has happened in India. There is a mad rush of all employees trying to fit within the definition. An assistant manager is terminated from his service and he goes and knocks the doors of the labor and industrial courts. And the first question the management asks him is, are you a workman? So this brings us to the premise as to who is a workman. But before I proceed friends, let me tell you and share with you one story. There was a boy who used to work in an office. His name was Bhola. और भोला चाय बनाता था. His tea making skills were unparalleled. इतनी बढ़िया चाय, correct proportion में चाय की पत्ती, शक्कर and this and that and ratio और दूध, everything so excellent that people from other offices used to come. चाय पीनी है तो बस भोला के हाथ की. And one day there was some tutu meme with his boss and the boss terminated his services. चलो तुम्हारे काम की जरूरत नहीं है, get out. Bhola was on the road. Bhola begged, Harry, come on, take me back, but the manager was not to listen. Ultimately, Bhola filed a case against the management by approaching the labor court. And the issue of a workman was to be decided. And the management said that Bhola makes tea and his tea is unparalleled. He has got artistic skills. It's his own creativity. कितनी चाय की पत्ती और कितना sugar और कितना दूध डालना है. So he is a creative person. How can he be called as a workman? On which the lawyer on behalf of Bhola argued, if that is the thing, what do you think of Michelangelo? Michelangelo is no less than a decorator by these standards and these parameters. And what about Edison? Edison is no more than an electrician because he made the bulb and he plays with the bulbs. The judge decided, just had a chuckle on his face. He said, my dear friends, both of you try to understand that what you have to see is not the flair with which he is doing the work, but what is the nature of his duty. Bhola indeed makes tea. Tea is good, that is okay. And whatsoever appreciation, certificates and awards and accolades you give to Bhola, that does not disclose him from the fact that he remains to be dealing with labor. What is putting inside is labor. चाय अच्छी है तो अलग बात है, but this does not mean that Bhola is something too artistic and creative, and these high sounding labels and these fancy names are created by the management just to ensure that Bhola comes out of the definition of workman. But friends, what is the definition? ये है क्या definitions? Definition of workman. A workman is defined under section 2S of the Industrial Disputes Act. What is section 2S? He who does manual, skilled, unskilled, technical, clerical, operational and supervisory work is a workman. There is a non-inclusive part of the definition which I will come later. पहले तो inclusive देखते हैं. What is inclusive? First is manual. Manual means what? हाथ से काम करेगा. Manual labor. So it's हाथ से काम करेगा. All these you must have seen at construction sites. People carry something on their heads. He gives it to him. साथ ही हाथ बढ़ाना. But who is he ultimately? Manual sweeping the floor. Jhadu wala is a manual workman. The nature of his duty is manual. Second is skilled. Some skill is required. In order to drive a motorbike, you require a RTO license. Do you know what is required to drive an aeroplane? An aviation license is required. It's a skilled job. So all pilots by this definition come within the definition, and all pilots are workmen. Skilled, unskilled is also there. No skill is required. Till yesteryears, I was harboring under the belief that what akkal is needed to just sweep the floor and rub the floor. झाड़ू पोछा में कौन सी आई अक्कल? Till I learnt one day that under hospital management, how to clean the floor is a skill job. Say there are transplant patients, heart transplant, kidney transplant. The patient is to be kept in quarantine, so he is shifted elsewhere. You and me are not allowed to meet the patient. Why? Because there is contamination. There are germs everywhere. Germs are now also. They are invisible. I cannot see them. In front of you also germs are there. Crores. But why don't they attack you? Because your immunity is high. This is not with that patient. There the immunity is low, and let me tell you, it was news to me when I learned that in a kidney transplant patient, the floor is to be rubbed with Dettol, an antiseptic, after every 10 minutes. So this is a skill job, how to rub the floor. So manual, skilled, unskilled. Then is technical. Technical is all your ITI trades. Plumber, turner, fitter, electrician, painter. All these ITI people, they are all fitting and have that ITI certificate. They are all your technical people, telephone operator, everything, electrician, everything. So all of them, manual, skilled, unskilled, technical, clerical. Clerical is you go in any bank, you will find type people writing something. Somebody is working on the computer. Somebody is just telling the accounts. What is the nature of his duty? Nature of a duty remains clerical. Somebody is on the phone, telephone operator calling here, इतना टिकट बुक हो गया क्या? हमारे मैनेजर जाने वाले हैं दिल्ली एयरलाइन कंपनी. Have you booked the tickets? This is all clerical work. Manual, skilled, unskilled, technical, clerical, operational. Operational is sometimes one machine here, second machine here, third machine here, and one is an operation. 3 machines. So it's an operation. And then supervisory. And supervisory is also inclusive in the definition. We are going to explain this in detail some other time. But then friends, then there is a non-inclusive part of the definition. That is what is not included in the definition. Number 1, a member of the Army, Navy and Air Force Act. So whoever is a member of the and amenable to the jurisdiction of the Army, Navy and Air Force Act, or in simple words, एक जवान जो आर्मी में है, नेवी का कोई अफसर forget, अफसर is a manager, but anybody who is in the Army, Navy and Air Force is excluded from the definition. Why? Logic is simple. Just think of a situation at the Kargil border. Pakistan is showering bombs on India, and all our soldiers keep the gun down and say हमारी मांगे पूरी करो. What will happen to you and me? What about your and my security? That is why Government of India in the definition itself has stated that all these Army, Navy and Air Force people will be out of the definition. Same applies to the police service and people who are employed in a prison. Third thing is very important, that is what should be the pay packet. Pay packet, remember friends, is not a decisive factor. Friends, as far as the definition is concerned, we see the third point in the non-inclusive part of the definition, and that is the wages should be less than 10,000 rupees per mensum. Now this is earlier to the amendment of 2010. Earlier the figure was 1,600 only. Then they have amended the definition and now it is less than 10,000. It is indeed surprising that at many places, the minimum wages are more than 10,000 rupees. So in a way, this pay packet test is an outmoded test. The real test which prevails is the nature of duty, and the last thing is the most important. The most important thing is that what is the nature of duty, and it should not be mainly or basically he should not be employed in a managerial capacity. As I told you, there is a mad rush for people to come to the labor industrial court. The reason is very simple, because protection is granted. And people come to labor industrial court, assistant manager, maybe workman who, you are what? General manager also comes there and says, my workman who, I am just given some work. And then I just have to do the work which is given. I have no independent powers. I cannot decide anything. Now you see, I'll give you an example friends, and how it operates. Say it's a Sunday and there's nobody in the office. and I am doing some clerical work. Now you see, clerical is fitted in the definition: manual, skilled, unskilled, technical, clerical, operational, and supervisory. So clerical is there. Suddenly the phone bell rings. I pick up the phone. Now whoever, it's a Sunday, nobody is in the office, and the person who is on the other line says, your company has not booked the stationery for this year. If you do not book it right now, abhi ke abhi, you will lose the order. Think. So there is nobody. So I said, oh, hold on. So I keep the phone, get up. I pick up a file. Last year क्या हुआ था? Same company को order दी थी. Still last year same company was given an order. Still last year, yes, same company. So I sit for a while, decide, keep the file, pick up the phone, and I tell him, come on, no problem, भेज दो. He says, okay. He says, yes. एकदम final. And then I keep the phone and I start writing. Now you see, friends, what has happened is, as far as my writing is concerned, I am a clerk. On the phone I have taken a decision. So taking a decision is the function of a manager. So I am a manager in the process. And then what happened last year? So I got up and picked up the file. Picking up the file is in a way a function of the peon. So here I am a peon, here I am a manager, and here I am a clerk. Question is, who am I? Am I a clerk? Am I a manager? Or am I a peon? Matter reached the highest court, and ultimately court put forth a theory that what is the basic duty, or what is the major duty, or what is the main duty of a person is to be seen, or what is the core activity of a person is to be seen, and the gloss of additional duties is to be discarded. So basically I am a clerk, and incidentally I am a manager, and incidentally I am a peon. So the gloss of additional duties is to be discarded. Today times have come wherein jobs are multifarious. You do this also, and you do this also, and you do this also. But basically who you are? If basically I am doing a clerical duty, I happen to be a clerk, which falls within the definition of manual, skilled, unskilled, technical, clerical, and that is why I am a workman within the meaning of section 2S of the Industrial Disputes Act. It operates this way. Now how do you prove he is a workman? So many ways. You have to see, basically understand, friends, decision making is the function of a manager. Sometimes now IT people have also started coming, and then the problem is very dicey, and then somebody shows a judgment here and there in this court, and in Chennai Labour Court has said that yes, he is a workman, and somebody says no, he is not a workman because he does some creative duty, some innovation is there. And these IT employees, they have to fill a self-appraisal form, and as I told you, people in the self-appraisal form बस डिंगा मारना है. In the self-appraisal form, write all self-laurels. बस मैंने ये किया, and मैं वो किया, and मैं कितना महान हूँ, and everything is there. They don't know one thing. Later, in one of the self-appraisal forms, the employer had written, I evaluate others. And then a question was asked to him, how do you evaluate others? What is evaluation? Evaluation means judging. So you judge people. He said yes. How do you judge? What are his pitfalls? What are his pros? What are his cons? What are his positive points, negative points? You weigh everything and then you decide. He said yes. So it is decision making. He said yes. Who does decision making, manager or workman? So he is a manager. So are you a workman or are you a manager? Ultimately it squares down कि he is a manager. But is manager a workman? Answer is no. तो बस उतर जाओ अभी. Here only you lose the case that you are not a workman, you are a manager, and managers are in the non-inclusive part of the definition. Friends, this definition of workman is very important, and we are going to divide this into 2 or 3 parts. A request to you is you see it in a sequel, pehle part 1, then 2, then 3. So we finish off with part 1. In the part 2, I will elaborate this concept still better, and then we are going to see case laws also. Okay, nice to be with you, friends.